the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And coming up on the news at noon, facing criminal charges, former President Donald Trump is set to head back to New York. We're live in Manhattan with what happens next. And later, 4 people are trying to recover after a weekend of shootings in the nation's capital. What the latest in the investigations. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Developing news, the Dulles Town Center is once again open. It comes after a shooting there Sunday that seriously injured a person and sent shoppers into panic. Loudoun County Sheriff says it all started with an argument between 2 men. Deputies found the victim outside of a Cheesecake Factory restaurant there suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. He was sent to a nearby trauma center. Meanwhile, just moments later, police arrested a suspect in the food court. One shopper describing the scene in the mall to DC News Now.
There was a loud bang. Everybody kind of turned around to see what happened. Somebody had said that they had just been shot and hunched over. A lot of chaos. Honestly, at first it was a bit odd because his friends that were standing next to him had cameras, so it seemed like I initially thought it was a prank.
And 3 other people were checked for injuries while they escaped the panic. Management closed the mall after the shooting, and as we said, it reopened for business. Fortunately, everyone is okay. Well, it started out as a chilly morning, but temperatures in the 70s will return this afternoon. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, I can deal with 70-degree temperatures.
Oh, so can I, my friend, especially after that wind and then the cold this weekend. Oh, it's nice to finally calm things down and make it feel a lot more manageable. Look at those low temperatures, though, from this morning here. It stayed mild enough around DC in the low 40s if you were inside the Beltway, but once you went outside the Beltway, different story. 20s, 30s. We even had some frosty conditions back across portions of northern Virginia into western and central Maryland with those very cold temperatures, and that's something we keep a close eye on now that we are starting to go into those warmer months of the year. But speaking of warmer, look at that right there. The temperatures, they've gone up almost a good 30 degrees already, upper 50s, low 60s. And folks, we are far from done with these warmer temperatures, as there is a lot of warm air off to our south that is getting ushered right into the DMV the rest of the day today. So we will notice a few more clouds during this time, and it will be a bit breezy, but how about it? Low 70s by the time we hit the 3 to 4 o'clock hour. So you needed the jackets this morning, but this afternoon it is short sleeve shirt weather, no question about it. Now, as we roll ahead, though, into the latter portions of the week, are we going to keep an eye out for a few thunderstorms potentially rolling in with just how warm it is going to be? We'll have a full check of that forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. 4 people are recovering after being shot in Southeast D.C. Sunday afternoon. Lex Juarez has the latest on the investigation.
Well, the shooting happened on this block of Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, deep in the heart of Ward 8. Police say it was just before 4 in the afternoon. Officers found 3 men who had been shot when they got here. All 3 were taken to the hospital for treatment, and the 4th man who was shot took himself to the hospital. Police say they are looking for a black car they believe is an Infiniti. According to police, that car had an AR-15 sticking out of the window during the shooting and was last seen driving away towards South Capitol Street. Well, right now, any suspects would catch an assault with intent to kill charge. In Washington, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Lex, thank you. Developing now, Montgomery County Police are currently at the scene of a barricade situation in Olney, Maryland. Police say it's in the area of Shadow Ridge Court, and they say that there will be an increased police presence, but the situation is located at one home. We'll be sure to bring you an update on air and online as the situation continues to unfold. Well, the former president is making plans to travel to New York City, this as he's expected to be arraigned in a Manhattan courtroom tomorrow after a grand jury indictment. Ayana Harry from our sister station Pix 11 in New York City has been following this story, and Ayana's security preparations are already underway for tomorrow's arraignment.
Mark, the security preparations are underway because the former president is expected in New York City here at Trump Tower just within a few short hours. In fact, his plane in Florida is expected to take off shortly. Around Trump Tower, the NYPD and the Secret Service, they've been coordinating security for days. So what we've been seeing is additional barriers, concrete barriers, metal barriers. We've seen officers walking around the neighborhood on patrol, and they've also shut down several blocks immediately around Trump Tower so that the former president can get into the building and out of it shortly. And there's also a very increased presence in Lower Manhattan near the courthouse where the former president will stand for an arraignment tomorrow. Our crews have seen bomb-sniffing dogs in the area, and also there is a barrier set up around that courthouse in anticipation of that the president and his arraignment.
Ayanna, what do we expect to see during the actual hearing tomorrow, and then what do we know about his plans after the arraignment?
So, Mark, we are expecting that indictment that has been sealed for days now to finally be unsealed. So the former president will be able to actually see the criminal charges that he is up against. His legal team says they are looking forward to seeing that indictment unsealed and going through the charges line by line as they begin to prepare their response. And then when the former president is done with the arraignment, he plans to get back on a plane, head back to Florida. In fact, he has a campaign event scheduled there for tomorrow evening, Mark.
Ayanna Harry, live from New York City. Thank you very much. Meantime, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin speaking out on Twitter, condemning the indictment, writing, "This is the left's continued attempt to weaponize our judicial system." Youngkin did not back down when we spoke with him about this. He argues that the issue regarding alleged hush money payments has already been dealt with in the federal court system.
This issue with the former president has already been dealt with at the federal level, and so here we are again at a local level. What I do know is that when there has been an issue that has been dealt with, and then it continues to be dealt with again and again and again, I think it erodes people's faith in the judicial system.
Over in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore's staff told DC News Now in a statement, quote, that no one is above the rule of law and that the governor is confident the judicial system will ensure a fair process in this matter. Well, we're following a developing situation this hour inside of a metro station. Transit police are at the Judiciary Square station in D.C., where we're told that an unauthorized person was on the tracks. Well, first responders say the person may have touched the electrified rail that powers metro trains, and it appears that they've died. Right now, service is currently suspended between the Gallery Place and Noma stations as the investigation continues. Well, some say their rent is increasing here in the DMV. The latest figures from the Fed show that prices have gone up and down since the pandemic. While here in D.C., rent remains high, there are programs to help families from falling behind. Consumer reporter Ben Dennis is helping to stretch your dollar.
We crunched the numbers. D.C. area rents, they're up 2% so far this year compared to last, and that follows a slight decline the year prior. But still, plenty of families are in need and could use some emergency assistance, and for those that need them the most, and as inflation continues to curtail essential spending. Now, federal data shows that median rents in the DMV, the average among studios to 4 bedrooms, this year just below $2,200 a month. $2,129 in 2022. The year prior, $2,100. In 2020, just above $2,000, roughly the same that we saw in 2019. And programs to help are timely, with pandemic-era provisions to freeze or slow down rent hikes are coming to an end, and even efforts to block evictions also end. And as the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development considers changes to how localities get grant funding for rent programs. Now, why is this all important? Well, many pandemic-era federal grants are starting to run dry. So where to go right now for help? Local programs in the DMV, states offering these programs for financial assistance. In Virginia, counties may have emergency programs. Call these numbers here. Marylanders can contact their local housing departments. There's a state hotline to help direct consumers. And district residents with incomes less than 40% of the area median income, there's help for overdue rent and even security deposits for people moving. Visit the link on your screen. And in West Virginia, the state recommends contacting Housing Stability Partners to start contact legal aid with the number there on your screen. Also, local nonprofits like the United Way of the National Capital Area are offering assistance online and by phone. That number is here at the bottom of your screen. More online at dcnewsnow.com. Ben Dennis, back to you.
Well, lawmakers in North Carolina are attempting to push legislation that would ban abortions from the moment of fertilization. According to the bill, the only exception written in the Human Life Protection Act is if a mother's life is at risk. The bill also says that doctors would face felony charges if they commit any action resulting in the death of an unborn child. One Democrat North Carolina representative is asking lawmakers to reconsider.
Please, please reconsider and think about what you're doing. We are talking about people's lives. We are infringing, in my opinion, on people's decisions about what they're going to do with their lives, and with their bodies, especially with our women. It's how I feel, because I wouldn't want anybody to tell me what to do or how to do.
Well, according to the General Assembly's website, the bill has moved on to a special committee after passing its first reading.